Imagine a voice so bold, so unforgettable, it could silence a roaring stadium. A man who didn't just call the game, but challenged the world around it. This is the story of a broadcaster who redefined sports. A man whose passion burned bright, whose courage sparked change, and whose heart carried a love that anchored him through it all. But beneath the fame, there was a rivalry so bitter it defined his legacy. Who was this man, and what made him clash so fiercely with one colleague above all others? Stick with me, because this tale is one of fire, heartbreak, and a fight for truth. Born in a small southern town in 1918, he grew up with big dreams and a sharp mind. He excelled in school, earned a law degree, and started his career defending athletes and dreamers in the courtroom. That legal fire rooted in fairness and justice shaped him. He didn't just see sports as games. He saw them as stories of struggle, ambition, and human spirit. When he stumbled into broadcasting in the 1950s, it wasn't planned. He started small, covering local baseball games on the radio, but his voice nasal, commanding, unmistakably his grabbed listeners. It wasn't just how he sounded. It was how he spoke. He didn't narrate. He dissected. He questioned. He made you think. By the 1960s, he was a star, a cornerstone of sports coverage when football became America's obsession. Picture Monday nights in the 1970s. Families gathered around flickering TVs, not just for the touchdowns, but for him. His commentary turned games into events. He mixed sharp analysis with raw personality, making every play feel like a chapter in a larger drama. People loved him or loathed him. Fans cheered his honesty. Critics called him arrogant. But no one changed the channel. His voice was magnetic, his style a lightning rod. He wasn't there to make friends. He was there to make you feel something. One bond stood out, his friendship with a legendary boxer, a charismatic rebel who shook the world. From the moment they met, when the boxer was still a young dreamer, their chemistry was electric. Their interviews were part theater, part truth, blending humor with raw honesty. When the boxer took a stand against war, risking everything, this broadcaster stood by him. It wasn't popular. It wasn't safe. But it was right. Their alliance became a symbol of courage, a beacon in a time when sports, race, and politics collided. Together, they made history, proving that sports could be more than a game. They could be a mirror to society. But he didn't stop there. He called out racism, corruption, and the growing greed in sports. While others stuck to scores, he dug deeper, demanding accountability. His critics called him pompous. His supporters called him fearless. He covered Olympics, baseball, boxing. His voice carried weight everywhere. But that boldness came at a cost. He clashed with athletes, coaches, even colleagues. His honesty made enemies. Fans who wanted light commentary rolled their eyes. Yet he never backed down. That fire, that refusal to compromise, was what made him a legend. If this story touches your heart, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's keep this legacy alive. His personal life, though, was his refuge. In 1944, during a world at war, he married a woman who became his rock. She wasn't just his wife. She was his partner, his calm in the storm. With her warmth and strength, she balanced his fiery spirit. For nearly 5 decades, through the chaos of fame and the grind of travel, she was there. When he faced criticism, when his brash style sparked backlash, she was his safe haven. Their love wasn't perfect. It faced the strain of his relentless career, but it was enduring. She gave him the courage to keep going, to keep challenging the world. But then, tragedy struck. In 1990, after 46 years together, she passed away. The loss shattered him. The man who'd faced down critics with unshakable confidence was broken. Friends said he was never the same. His health faded, his spark dimmed. The voice that once commanded millions grew quieter. He stepped back from broadcasting, disillusioned by a world that valued flash over substance. Yet even in retreat, his influence lingered. Young journalists studied him, inspired by his blend of heart and intellect. He'd changed the game forever. Now, here's where the story takes a darker turn. Among all the battles he fought, one burned hotter than the rest: his feud with a fellow broadcaster. This rival was everything he wasn't: smooth, polished, a crowd pleaser. To our hero, this man was the opposite of what sports journalism should be. He called him a cheerleader, a voice that decorated games instead of dissecting them. Their styles clashed like thunder. In the booth, tension crackled. Our broadcaster dominated, interrupting, weaving in bold commentary, while his rival tried to keep things light. Behind the scenes, it was worse. Meetings turned into shouting matches. Crews whispered about their icy glares. The audience felt it, too. Some tuned in just for the drama. He never hid his disdain. "He's all style, no substance," he'd snap. His rival, younger and calmer, fired back, calling him an ego who couldn't share the spotlight. Their feud became legendary, a symbol of two visions for sports broadcasting. One raw and fearless, the other safe and polished. To our hero, this rival represented everything wrong with the industry, a shift toward entertainment over truth. Even in his final years, he couldn't let it go. "He'll be remembered for one catchy line," he said once, waving a hand. "I'll be remembered for changing how we talk about sports." That bitterness never faded, but it was part of what made him who he was. He passed away in 1995, at 77, his heart giving out after years of battling illness. His death wasn't just the loss of a man. It was the end of an era. He'd redefined what it meant to be a broadcaster, weaving courage, conviction, and controversy into every word. His funeral drew legends, athletes, journalists, fans, all, honoring a man who was as divisive as he was unforgettable. Buried on a quiet Long Island hill, he left behind a legacy that still echoes. So, what's the takeaway? This man didn't just call games. He called out the world. He loved fiercely, fought fiercely, and lived fiercely. His story reminds us to stand for something, to speak truth even when it's hard. If his journey inspires you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this story. Let's keep his fire burning.